Hello and welcome to my vlog. This is vlog 007, my 8th vlog. I have recorded this vlog like 4 or 5 times so far, and for various reasons I haven't been able to publish it. One time I recorded the audio and I was wrong. I've been double checking and triple checking the audio right now. I've recorded this intro sequence like 4 or 5 times just to make sure that everything records correctly. And there were a few other situations where I was halfway through a vlog, then I got interrupted, and then I couldn't get back to it until a few days later. I'm already wearing a different shirt, the lighting is different, everything's different, and I didn't want to have this disjointed experience. Right now I'm posting vlogs, I think about 1 a month, a little bit less than that on average. I'm not very happy with that, but the main reason for that is actually my equipment. So I have a DSLR that's recording the video, and it's great quality, sharp image, and it's wonderful. But I have some issues with it. The main one is the microphone. I have to use an external microphone that I have right here, and it's a Blue Snowball, and it's connected to my computer. So I'm recording audio and video on 2 different pieces of hardware, and sometimes I run into some audio issues, some having to synchronize and so on, and I didn't think I would be running into that because I mainly didn't consider my DSLR as being my main vlogging hardware. I was going to do all of my vlogging through my webcam, but after seeing the difference in quality, it's kind of hard to go back to using a webcam, because using that webcam, I'm sorry, I just hurt my phone. Using a webcam is just, it looks horrible. It looks horrible in comparison, and it's, it works if I'm doing like a screen share and then my picture is like this big, like the video quality is perfect for that. Like this downscaled video is really awesome, but for like a full showing my entire body, not only my body but my head and my shoulders and whatever, it doesn't really work well. And I'm also having a little bit of issues with my DSLR in terms of having it far away enough, being able to focus it right and show off, the right part of my body and so on. Right now I feel a little bit too zoomed in, so next time hopefully I'm not going to do it, but I'm not restarting this again. One of the other reasons why I've been restarting this specific vlog in the series has been because I've gone through a lot of different changes in my life in the past month, or not different changes, but like an outlook on what I'm going to do in the coming months has changed radically. I had a really intense project at work, and I did a vlog on crunch time, and then I deleted it because the audio had issues with that. But that was a good one. But I went through a serious crunch time, and I'm having a hard time getting back up on the horse. Is that the phrase? Yeah, I'm hoping that's the phrase. So that I've been having a hard time with that. The other thing is that I've been kind of dabbling with the idea of maybe starting like a paid app or paid product. Instead of focusing on like these little things, learning little things, working on these small apps and libraries, and I've released a good deal of libraries over the past couple of months that I'm really proud of. But I've been thinking about working on a much bigger project long term. One thing that I have a lot of issues with is keeping on task with the projects that I do. I like starting new projects, I think everybody does, and I have a hard time staying with the same project for a while, at least until completion. So right now I'm considering a couple of different things that I'll be working on. One of them is I really want to finish I have 2 National Novel Writing Month books that I've finished, and I want to edit them and I want to put them up on Amazon and start selling them. I'm really excited about that. One of them I feel like just needs a little bit of editing and it'll be done. The other one needs a whole lot of editing and then it'll be done. But I definitely want to get that done as quickly as possible. The other thing I want to work on is my Markdown editor. And to be honest, I found that there's a lack of really good Markdown editors that work on your desktop, that work similarly to like a Visual Studio Code or Atom or Sublime Text or the code editors. I found that there aren't enough Markdown editors that are featureful but very simple at its core. So that's something I want to work on. Like whenever I open a Markdown editor, it's so confusing. I have to open a new file every single time, and usually I have all of my Markdown files in a single folder, and it would be great to be able to cycle through them really quickly with like a sidebar, a list of files, like Visual Studio Code does, or Atom does, or Sublime Text or Vim or whatever else. But I haven't found a Markdown editor that can do that for you. I've also found that Markdown editors today really desktop Markdown editors focus really on the experience of having a markdown and having a preview. And honestly, the preview is not something I care that much about. And the preview should be almost in the markdown that you write. I really like markdown editors where you put two hashtags or octothorpes or whatever you want to call it, a space, and then a heading, and instead of just being plain text, it like enlarges to the heading size that it's supposed to be. I really love that experience, but not a lot of markdown editors actually do that for you. So I've been thinking that for the next quarter, and I think last time I talked about doing these quarterly reviews, I'd like to focus on getting a book out. I really would love to get a book out by June 21st. I think that's the first day of summer. So by the end of the second quarter. And I really want to get back into working on my Markdown editor. So those are my two big goals. The other thing I wanted to talk about is these quarterly reviews, right? So I created a review of my last quarter. I used to do yearly reviews and then 6 months, and I think quarterly makes the most sense. It's enough time to actually get something done, but it's short enough that you get some kind of feedback to what you're doing. And the other part of the quarterly reviews is that you can do a quarterly preview review. And I watched a really cool YouTube video, and I wish I could remember. It was a TED Talk, and I wish I could remember the name of it. But what I suggested doing is writing these yearly Christmas newsletters. Like some families have these Christmas newsletters that go around the entire family, that it's like a small magazine that tells you what's going on in the family, some of the achievements, highlighting some things, and if you make it in there, everybody knows about your achievements. I have personally never seen one. We don't do anything like that in my family. I haven't met anybody who does do anything like that, but I've seen it in a few movies, and they mentioned it in the YouTube talk. Well, they talked about writing that Christmas newsletter, writing your stuff in there on the front page, and writing what you've accomplished. So like a preview. So instead of setting goals like I want to do these things, this is like looking back and saying this is what I've done. And in some ways it feels a little bit more realistic because you don't put things in there that you have a goal to do but you will never actually do, but you'll actually be a little bit more realistic about what you're gonna do, where you're gonna get, how far you're gonna get, and I really like that idea. And so I wanted to do it for myself, and so I wrote a big quarterly review preview until I arrived at that point where I'm like, you know what, I really should just focus on a couple things and screw everything else, Obviously I still have some goals outside of these two big projects, book and the Markdown editor, but I think having these as my main interest, hobby interests, is a big deal. I think it's a big deal to just have that focus because it's easy to stray and not get anything done in the end. And I wanted to dabble with making all of these different things monetized, and that's not something I've dabbled with for years because okay, I'm gonna get a little bit personal here. One of my very close friends died a few years back, and he was the one who got me on the track of programming. He's the one that I owe my programming to, my career, how much I make. He's been a huge influence in terms of career negotiations, finding a job, negotiating salaries. He was my mentor for a long time, and he got me basically from a minimum wage job to owning a house. Basically, obviously not all the effort's on him, but he's been very influential in my life. So when he died, one of the things I wanted to do is contribute back to the community, just as he has contributed into my life. I took all the ads off my website. I turned off Google AdSense. I vowed not to add any new affiliates to my website, and there were a few other things that I wanted to do. And in the past 2 years, I've done that. And one of the things I really wanted to do is I honestly get back into it. I don't want to spam anybody with ads, but I think it's okay to develop and make things and make money off of them to support that product. I don't think with the rise of Open Collective, people paying for Webpack support for. I don't think React gets it, but Preact, Cycle.js, all of those have an Open Collective account, and people pay them in a Patreon-esque fashion. I think it's okay to want to do that. I think it's okay. I think it's okay to do this. And one of the things I'm honestly going to do with these new products, or the new product of building the Markdown editor, is to make portion of it or all of it open source, and then maybe have like a hosted server version of it that does backups for you or something like that. Or you can build it from source for free, or you can pay $5 for like a lifetime license for the current major version or something like that. And I think that's okay, because honestly, if you really want to use it, you can, if a developer really wants to figure out how to do it on their own, use it and not pay for it, they can build it from source, or they can just pay me $5 and have auto-updating editor. So that's something that I want to get into. And I was also inspired by an app called Feedbin. I think that's what it's called. Feedbin is like an RSS reader that's very developer-centric, but it's extremely clean, really wonderful. It's free. Sorry, not free. You can, all of the source code is open, but if you want to use the hosted version, you want to have the automatic sync, the integrations and all these different things that the developer created, it's still available in the open source version, but it's all configured and working from scratch in the paid application. Plus, you're supporting the developer, and I think that's a big deal, being able to support the developer whose tools you use, and I really like those ideas. But yeah, so that's kind of my vlog, my update here. I have a few things I want to work on, and yeah. And yeah, I think that would be it. Thanks for watching my vlog. I'm hoping to kind of expand sometime in the future with possibly some ideas for podcasting, or maybe kick my blogging up a notch. But we'll see how that goes.